We live in a world where there's a relentless war against internal combustion engine cars, and electric cars are suddenly the trend. And you're sat there considering buying a 5-litre V8 supercharged Range Rover. Well, firstly, my respects go out to you, my friend, and secondly, you won't regret it. Now in this review, I'm going to take you around the car, drive it around town, drive it around some country lanes, take it on the motorway, and oh yes, take it off-road. I'm Max Aftervarney, and welcome to Driven Plus. P525, what does that mean? That means it has 525 horsepower, 625 newton meters of torque from its 5-litre supercharged V8. Quite a heavy car though, weighing in at just below 2,400 kilos. Range Rover has equipped this with an 8-speed dual clutch transmission and deliver its power via an all-wheel drive system. And Range Rover say it will do 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. Yep. So let's see if that's true. Now, it's not equipped with launch control, but who needs it when you're pulling out of your stately home? Ew, I'm just going to go down to the shops. No, you do not need it. Having a launch control button in your Range Rover is like having a nuclear bomb. Will you ever use it? No. And when you do, it'll just all go to shit anyway. Now what I'm going to do is put the gearbox in S, put the car in dynamic mode. Yeah. Brake boost. And go. Hooked up pretty nicely. What are we going to get? 5.2 seconds. Bang on what Range Rover says. Do you know what? We're going to try. I'm going to try something else here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try that again, but I'm going to try it in sand mode. Let's see if it makes a difference. This is the first ever car where it's done what the manufacturer has said. So it does what it says on the tin, shall we say. So we put it in, where are we? Sand, here we go. And go. 4.95 seconds. There you go. Your Range Rover is faster in sand mode than it is in any normal mode. I bet you never knew that. Back to the review. So this model Range Rover is called the L405 version, and this model has been around since 2013, and this is the facelifted version, and this happened in around 2018. And what did you get with a facelift? Well, smoother bumpers, upgraded lights, and a few other tweaks more on the inside, which you'll see very soon as well. 22-inch alloy wheels, but the side profile is just classic, isn't it? It just looks amazing. Especially I like with what they've done with the glass. They've made it all black, so it makes it look like the roof is floating. Let's go have a look onto the rear. Coming onto the rear, although it has a rampaging 5-litre V8 in the front, nothing tells you it has that. Or you get autobiography badge and the Land Rover badge, but I quite like that. It's very, very subtle. For all you and I know, this could be a 3-litre diesel one, but let's hear what the 5-litre V8 sounds like. Real good, really, really good. Let's have a look into the boot. Obviously you get the Range Rover traditional split tailgate, one button to open the top bar and then another button to bring the bottom part down. That's 800 litres. Bring the seats down, which you can do electronically. That extends to another 1,800 litres. Now, if you equip this with the tow bar, that means you can tow up to 3.5 tonne, which is really good. Let's go take a look inside. So on the inside of the Range Rover, now whatever year Range Rover you sit in, you always get the same experience. You just feel like a king. But the seats, they're super plush and really soft. You really do sink into them. They're heated and cooled, and you control them via your door here. There's loads of things to choose from, and I'll just get lost in what you actually can change. But when I said before, the L405 version, this is the facelift. Well, what's the difference inside between the facelift and the pre-facelift? Well, it's this screen here. Everything's gone into a screen, so all your heated seats, all your terrain response, we'll have a bit of a play with that later, so stay tuned. Also, you got all your climate controls as well. For me, I prefer climate controls, a fully functioning knob, but I suppose you've got to get with the times nowadays. Beautiful place to sit, panoramic sunroof there. Onto the instrument cluster, you see the words supercharged. That's really the only significant thing with the engine. That's only where you see it. From the outside, it's just a normal autobiography. So it's one of them, whether you like it or not. I suppose if you want to stand out in a Range Rover, you go buy an SVR. But you get Meridian sound system on the outside. but it's a really nice place to be. Let's go review the back seats being chauffeured round. Right, here we are. No matter what anyone says about driving a Range Rover and how good they are, the best experience is always being a passenger, and in the autobiography, that's being a passenger in the back. For example, now that camera will now go down, yeah, because I control that window from this switch here. It's cool, isn't it? But yeah, it is a lovely, lovely place to be. Super comfortable, loads of leg space, but I need a bit more, so what I'm going to do is just move you forward. Clever that, isn't it? And I want some more space on my little toes, so I'll just bring it up like that. And I want the ultimate experience, so what I will do is press this this button here, and this is full chauffeur mode. The seat goes back, that goes all the way forward. So yeah, I can properly relax like so now. I'm just missing something here. There we are, look at this coming down. Takes a while, as you can see. Oh yes, now I don't care what anyone says, this is the best experience. And even the sunroof cover, I can close it like so, but I'm not going to take it all the way because it'll put you down. But yeah, what else can you want? You can curve the headrest so you can really be super plush. Chauffeur, can we please put the foot down and experience what the 5-litre V8 is like? Beautiful. Yeah, you're not going to be late anywhere getting chauffeured around in a P525. That's why you buy a V8. What else do we have? So, if I bring this up, which will take its time again. Thank you, good sir. Now, I can control my heated seats, either heated or, oh yes, cooled. So even if I get a bit hot, that's not a problem. And I've got my own little climate controllers there. 4-zone in the Range Rover P525 autobiography, 12-volt socket, 5-volt socket, USB. And what a better place now to read and get updated with the Octane magazine. And what have we got today, chaps? Ooh, look at that. A Mercedes SL 190 CS L with a hardtop. Look at that. That is beautiful. Chauffeur, I'm getting a little bit bored now. Can we find the nearest off-road track? Thank you. So here we are on a bit of a green lane, as you can see. Lovely views out in North Wales today. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the terrain response in auto. Let the car figure out what's best for now. And all I have to do is drive. But the Range Rover is equipped with a low box, which makes it stand out from all its other manufacturers. A lot of people forget, although it's a big luxury four-wheel drive, it's made to off-road. And I must say, it does feel a little bit weird to off-road in such an expensive motor, but I'm only doing what it's been designed for. And it's also got height control, and it's in its highest setting now because I don't want it to catch on any boulders. Not that it's going to anyway, because there's none, but just to be on the safe side, shall we say. But I have to say, the Range Rover is responding really well to this track. And say you were sitting as a passenger with your eyes closed, you just think you're on a normal road in the UK full of potholes. Yeah, unfortunately. But I'm just letting the car tick over. I've got the hill descent control on, so that's just controlling the speed as I go down this bit of a decline here, so that's nice. There's a little bit of a dip coming here on the left, but I wouldn't have imagined it's anything to worry with the Range Rover. Yeah, with ease. But the Range Rover's thinking, what was that? Yeah, what was that? So what modes has this Range Rover got? Well, let's go out of auto and I can see. So we've got grass, gravel, snow program. So that actually might be in that now, but I would have imagined it'd be in normal mode because there's nothing causing it to sweat at all. And then we have mud ruts program. And it says recommended low range selected for mud ruts program. So let's put it in low. If it works. Let's not get onto that yet. If it works. Low range requested, select neutral for range. Okay, so I have to select neutral, which it is now. Put it in low. Low range selected. You can't do this in your Bentley Bentayga, can you? The answer's no. Or your Lamborghini Urus. and drive. Right, do I see a difference? Yes. Yeah, massive difference in the way this drives now. You can tell because the ratios are very short. If you are in mud, like if I put my foot down now, the power's there to get you out of the mud. Doesn't help that you're on road tyres, but believe it or not, this car has been developed to work with road tyres. So yeah, it will help if you're on all-terrain tyres or mud terrain tyres, but believe it or not, for every other application, you're just best off on road tyres because that's what it's been developed to work with. Right, let's come out of mud ruts, bring it out of low mode, which I have to go back into neutral again. Right, here we are. Sand program is selected. It's still not, right, now I'm out of low. Going back into drive. So sand program is, say you're on the sand dunes of Dubai, you need a lot of momentum and speed to not get bogged down in the sand. So sand program, I probably won't notice any difference going through this bit of dirt track here. But you're a massive difference with, say you're in Dubai or the desert, and I'd imagine this engine would actually come out really, really nice in the desert because it's a lot of power, a lot of torque. So that would be interesting actually. So there's sand program. What else have we got? We have the last one, rock crawl program. That would be cool. Oh, it's asking me to select the low range again. We're in absolutely no definition of a rock crawl, so there's no need to have a look at that. But yeah, I'm just going to leave an auto. Just let the car pick what's correct for it. Yeah. What's happened is I've broken down. Do not off-road in a Range Rover with road tyres. But what is a great advert? PB tyres are on their way with their mobile fitting service, and they shall be here in 20 minutes. So hopefully a short mishap to be continued. Whilst we're waiting for PB tyres to turn up, I can confirm the Range Rover is the best car to be broken down in. Number one, I have heated seats, so my back is lovely and warm. And also, I have massage. Let's start with Wave. Very, very nice. Let's go on to Pulse. A bit of Pulse. Yep, so right to left like that, as if you're needing someone. And then we have Pulse Duo. Not much of a difference. And then we go to combination, so an array of everything. Yes. You know what, PB tyres, you can take as long as you want. And whilst I'm having a massage, I can then turn my television on, and as we're watching here,
extra fun tonight.
Watching Adam Sandler's 50 First Dates. What a film. So here, as you can see, we're on a bit of a twisty section of road. Let's call it a good old British B road. Plenty of potholes. So I want to liven the car up a bit. So what I'm going to do is put the gearbox in S. That will drag the gears out a bit longer. And I'm going to put the car in dynamic mode. Now, this turns everything red, sharpens at the suspension, and a better throttle response as well. I mean, yeah, it feels very boaty in these corners. It's not the best car to chuck around. It's 2.4 tons, but as we come out of a corner onto a straight, you apply throttle, that's when this engine comes alive, release its full 525 horsepower. And the tone as well. Yeah, you can't beat that V8 tone. I mean, the initial A to B, coming out of a corner, go into the next corner, putting the foot down, it's scary how fast you can get there. And it's a big car to stop. It's got to have big brakes, and they do. However, if you're constantly going to be driving this around B roads, going into corners, applying the brakes, yeah, they're going to start to fade because it's a big car. But going through these corners now, applying the brakes, I got to say they're holding up pretty well. I'd say you've had enough fun listening to that 5-litre V8. I don't think I ever will get bored of listening to that. However, say you do get bored, you want to put it back into drive, put it from dynamic in normal comfort zone, And what's it like to drive? Well, obviously everything tones down a bit. It's super easy to drive, and the car feels a lot smaller than what it actually does. That's because it's so easy to drive with the steering wheel. It's so light, super responsive. There's just like this sense of lightness to it, which I like. It doesn't feel like a 2.4 ton car. But yes, but even when you apply a bit of throttle, you can still hear that V8 wafting about in the background. It doesn't get hidden away, and you can still hear it ever so slightly. And say I do put my foot down in comfort, it's easily waken. It can easily come alive. But let's say I want some manual input. Well, we're in S. I'm going to play with these lovely aluminium paddles mounted to the steering wheel. Let's go down. We're in S3, second gear. How fast does it get to its red line of 6,500? Well, the changes are super quick. Goes up to 8-speed, dual clutch transmission. That's how I drive this car, personally. Very rarely you'd see the Range Rover owner playing with the paddles. And for people who say Range Rovers are unreliable, for me, I think their reputation for the unreliable is unfair. Okay, yes, you do hear about some horror stories, but for those people who just say they're unreliable, number one, you probably can't afford one. Number two, okay, you may have had one, but you bought a cheap one without warranty. Put it this way, I know people who've had Range Rovers who've never had a problem, and when they've had, let's say, a minuscule or minor problem, they've had warranty, they took it back to Range Rover, and it's got fixed there and then. If I was going to buy one, I'd make sure it had warranty, and that the fact that it's had a pretty decent history anyway. But a lot of people forget that these Range Rovers, when they first came out in their day, they were like the most expensive SUV on the market, and they're expensive for a reason, because it's got the latest bit of kit on. These things do go wrong, and you've got to be prepared to pay for them. Like a lot of these luxury cars now are really cheap to pick up. That's because they're really, really expensive to fix. Because Range Rover nowadays, when you go back, 10 years, Range Rover was probably the leaders in the market, where really the only thing to go up against them was the BMW X5, Audi Q7 and the Mercedes ML. But none of them really touched Range Rovers in terms of their capability and what they can do. Now you've got Bentley, you've got Rolls-Royce, you've got Lamborghini, I'll say RSQ8 anyway, but let's go with the Bentayga and the Cullinan. Range Rover really had to step up their game, and when you compare it to the new Range Rover, not this generation, the newer one which I've reviewed, I put on the banner on the screen now and the link in the description if you want to watch my latest review on the latest Range Rover, the P530. I think Range Rover, they really have upped their game in terms of competitiveness when you compare against the Bentayga and the Cullinan. Range Rover are so good value for money when you compare it to the Bentayga and Cullinan. The kit and what they offer, Range Rover still are the leaders in the market for the luxury SUV game, and I'll say that in confidence. But let's see what it's like coming onto a dual carriageway as we come onto the slip road. Say you want to gain a bit of momentum, put your foot down. Yeah, there's absolutely no messing about already. We're at 70 miles per hour. But this is what the Range Rover is designed to do. Sit at 60 or 70 miles per hour, cruising along the motorway. This is where the Range Rover comes into its own. It's so comfortable. Oh, you can just sit back in these seats, put your head back and relax and just, set the cruise control, which you can do on the steering wheel. Now, it will manage the gap between the car in front of me, and say I want to reduce that gap, I can do it via this and it'll go closer to the car. So it's set at 70 miles per hour, the cruise control. What are we averaging? Let's have a look. Probably averaging about 22, 23, now 25. It's not bad. I mean, it's a 5-litre V8 petrol engine. What can you expect? MPG has got to be on the bottom of your list if you want to buy one of these. But let's bring it down to 60 if you're really concerned about fuel consumption. Does that affect it? How much does it affect it by? So it's easily averaging 30 miles to the gallon. So there is a big difference cruising at 60 and 70 if you really want to save that extra bit of fuel. Not that I would anyway, but there you are. 30 miles per gallon at 16 miles per hour in a 5-litre V8 supercharged Range Rover. That's really good. But yeah, I'm getting a bit bored, but let's keep it at 60 anyway. This is equipped with a fridge, so say you do get a bit bored, I'm just going to go in here and get out a drink. What have we got? Yeah, I'm going to put that back. That's Gordon's pink gin and tonic. Yeah, I think I'd get it flagged up to the police if I started drinking this. So driving the Range Rover around town, what's it like? Well, it feels a heavy car, it feels big. It's not as easy to manoeuvre as the latest Range Rover, the one that's fitted with 4-wheel steer. Coming back to this and then experiencing the 2 modes, there's such a massive difference. That 4-wheel steer is huge, it really, really is. But since we're knocking around here, what are we averaging? Well, I reset the trip computer before I started to come down these roads, and we are averaging 17.4 to the gallon. Yeah. As we come up to a junction, what is the visibility like? Let's have a look. Come to a stop. Yeah, really good visibility. And the throttle response is super responsive as well. Really smooth to come out. And even sitting at 20 miles per hour in Wales is okay, it's comfortable. I mean, I'd rather be sat at 20 mile an hour in a Range Rover than a VW Polo, should we say. So the Range Rover is a big car to park. Say I want to go into this bay here. All I have to do is press the cameras on the screen. And yeah, you've got loads of different configurations, but I want 360 cameras so I can see where it really sits into the parking bay. As we are there, not looking at the road at all, just looking at the screen. And there we are, parked. Let's go check it out, see how easy that is. See, look at that, it's absolutely perfect. I've parked it just with the 360 cameras. Beautiful. A massive thanks for tuning in and watching today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed my review on the Range Rover P525. 5 litres of V8 goodness, shall we say. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope I've managed to tempt you to buy one. As I said at the start of the video, you will not regret buying this car one bit. Just go out and do it. Press that like button and hit that subscribe button as well, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Cheers.
I go home when I win. I'm alone when the wind blows. And I won't lie. Oh, I'm hoping I get advances. This increase.